What's going on, guys? Jordan and Beau here, and today I'm going to be giving you my tips and advice on the do's and don'ts of social media while you are in a relationship, things to do to keep you out of trouble from your girl or your boyfriend.
In 2019, you've just so you and Jordan have been together five months now. So take it back to when you first met. You've been together a few months.
Yeah.
She's still following her ex, or you're following your ex.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Here's my thing with that. Most girls, as girls are, would find problems in that. So as a guy, I would already just recommend don't do that. It's going to cause problems. And what's really the point, right? But I will say, there are people out there who somehow, after like really serious relationships, manage to like kindle a friendship with an ex, right? I have tried, but it doesn't really work. And I will say, how girls are, most girls will find that threatening. You know, like that's someone that you loved for a very long time and you shared all these experiences with. And a lot of the same experiences you're sharing with your current girlfriend. So I would just say there's really no point in it. And
Yep.
I mean, it's not, your ex-girlfriend should probably understand that why you're not following her on Instagram anymore. I don't follow any of my ex-girlfriends. My girlfriend does not follow any of her ex-boyfriends. So, but I will say, actually, I think she follows one of her exes. And if she doesn't follow him, I follow him. And I'm like homies with him. But it was like, keep in mind, my girlfriend's 18. So like, This is kind of when she was young.
Sure.
So I'm in kind of a different realm. Like if it was a serious boyfriend, I'd be a little like, skeptical on that, and any girl would be like, why do you follow your ex? So.
Yeah. And what about, okay, so you've just started seeing someone and, you know, you're getting pretty serious, you're exclusive and all that sort of stuff, but you've still got, you know, your other girls like hitting you up who, you know, you might have hooked up with or you might have had something with. Yeah. It's like, hey man, did you want to grab lunch, or do you want to get dinner tomorrow night or whatever? And how do you go about that? Do you politely, you know, just avoid the situation? Do you say you're busy until they eventually get the message?
That's actually funny. I see what you're saying. Like you're talking to this girl, and all the girls there was girls you were talking to or something, are like they didn't know about it, right? So, I think I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, like I'm really bad at saying no, but when it comes to something like that, obviously you kind of have to. How I've just straight ghosted every other girl, because it's not like those girls aren't like, you're not like talking to them or like you know, like it's not really a real connection, so it's not like anything big, you know. And I'm not really, when I'm like, I don't really like the single life, the like hooking up kind of thing. I'm more of like a relationship kind of person. I like having that person that you connect with and that you can come home to, and like those are the person you share your problems with and stuff like that. So I've never really had to deal with ghosting a bunch of people, but like if I was in that situation, I'd probably just like whatever, you know, whose feelings are you really hurting?
So what we're trying to say here is ghosting isn't always bad. Sometimes it's necessary.
But hey, I think if I'm using the term correct, I think ghosting is really when you're like actually talking to a girl and you completely just that's a no. Yeah. I don't know how people do that.
Yeah, but this, for lack of a better term, we're going to go with ghosting, but it's generally in a good sense that, hey, I'm starting to see someone, I'm not going to engage.
Respectful ghosting.
Yeah, respectful ghosting. Okay, so what about just liking or engaging with other girls' posts?
Okay, so if it's like girls that are your homies, like of course there's no problem with that. I will say I've had this talk with like Jordan sometimes about like, keep in mind like a lot of girls that I've met in my past and a lot of people that I know now, I don't know how girls get themselves in situations, but girls tend to have in their past have chosen pretty poor dudes in the world, right? So a lot of girls I met have been through a lot, whether it's cheating or the trust problems, right? And me is like, I'm someone who's like, I would never do anything like that in my entire life. I never have, never will. And so my rule is like, trust me until I give you a reason not to, right? But a lot of girls just come with that, ready? And you have to kind of respect that if they've been through that, and I haven't, so I don't really understand.
Okay, so you feel like they kind of project their past insecurities onto
Exactly.
you.
So when you're dating a girl and there's like I tell my girlfriend, like it's healthy for a guy to literally like, you're a guy, like as a lot of people say, like you can look, you just can't touch. Like it's a bad saying, but at the same time, like it doesn't really even happen anyway. When you're like really in love with a girl, everyone else kind of blanks out, right? But like at the end of the day, like if there's dudes that like people follow models and have girlfriends, like you're still a guy, you still have celeb crushes, you know, like it's okay to like live your life. I feel like the unhealthy relationships are kind of the same as like unhealthy parenting. Like growing up, I saw all the kids that were doing the bad things, drugs, getting into trouble, were the kids with really strict parents. Does that make sense?
Yep. Totally.
So I feel like that kind of translates into relationships where if your girlfriend's overly strict, that could kind of build a
resentment
and end up in them getting hurt in the end.
Totally. And it's you almost if I guess it's like if they're constantly projecting that onto you or onto a person, after a while people, if they feel like they're being accused of it enough, they'll probably go out and do it.
Exactly.
They're like, if you think I'm doing this and I'm not, then why shouldn't I?
Bro, trust is everything. Like me and my girlfriend, like we trust each other so much, and that is one of the biggest things for a healthy relationship.
Sure. How did you guys meet?
She actually came to my house from a friend who invited her, and then I think they were like planning on filming something, and then when she came over, we had just like clicked. A lot of people also think that was like beef that started in the house, which isn't really true. But yeah, no, we just clicked, and then like it was just something like I wasn't gonna like skip out on the opportunity. And it was funny too because I was in that like anti-girlfriend mindset where I'm like, I'm gonna be single for a while, I don't want a girlfriend, and she had just gotten out of a relationship too, so she was definitely in that. And how life works itself, it just put us on each other, and we were just like, whoa, all right, like we'll just roll with it.
Generally how it goes. Well, I mean, I hear you. I just heard you guys on the phone. So you said you've been together 5 months, right?
5 months, yeah, coming up on 5 months.
And mate, like I was hearing L bombs being dropped there, the love bombs.
Oh yeah.
How quickly into the relation did you go that route?
Bro, that's another funny thing. I think we probably dropped that like a month in. Yeah. I will say this is how I work. I tend to fall in love fast, right? And I had learned that from my past relationships, and I kind of had thought that was maybe a common problem, right? That I just need to slow things down. Me and of course my exes and stuff like that. And so I had that in my mind, and then I just realized you can't really slow something like that down. Like you can't slow love down. It just happens. Yep. And every time it happens, you try to slow down, and it just says no. Like, and so like it just happened. I let it happen, and dude, I fell for her quick. She's amazing. So, yeah, that's going really well, and I've been really, really happy lately for sure.
Young love. I love it. All right. And getting back into this list. All right. This scenario, you've got a girl. She's a girl, mate. You're just friends. She posts a picture where, feeling herself wearing like particularly, not much.
Yeah.
But she's a friend. Do you like it, or you just skip over it to avoid?
No. I was gonna see if you said like, do you unfollow her? No. That's like one of those things where you get to and you're just like, oh, I got it. Yeah. You get to it, nope. And then like, and I follow some like social media influencers that me and my girlfriend know, and that post some stuff like that. And whenever I see it, I just try to like, whatever. Like she trusts me. Like I'm not looking. I'm just doing my thing. So I wouldn't like it.
So you can look but just don't like it. Keep
I
scrolling.
would say there's no problem in liking it. My girlfriend's fans would just go crazy. Like they would see that in their little thing and like destroy me. So
all right. So you got other things to worry about.
I got an army like to worry about.
They're keeping you aligned.
Exactly.
Damn, it's not just if she happens to see it.
She's got help for sure.
Tell you what, though, girls are detectives. Like the things that I've been called out by. That I'm just by girls, and I'm just like, how do you even know that? Like, how do you have the time to go through all that,
bro? And when I hear like my girlfriends talking to their friends about their boyfriends, stuff like that, I'm just like, I'm here. I'm like, yo, I'm looking out for the dudes out here. I'm like, y'all need to chill.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is like, it's all about trust. But if they're doing this behind them, do they really trust you? You know?
All right, next one. Being Insta official, and this reminds me of a meme I saw the other day. It was something like. Because this memes apply to every situation now.
Of course.
It was something along the lines of, if he isn't posting about you, then you're not official at all. You're not exclusive. How soon into the relationship did you and Jordan become Insta official?
What was funny with that too was we had started talking, and it was like when you talk to someone, like it's really I like give credit to people who are able to hide their relationships. Mm-hmm. Like I'm someone who likes to spend a lot of time with my girl. You're in the honeymoon phase. Hopefully in my mind, the honeymoon phase lasts forever. That's like a successful relationship. So we were spending a lot of time together, and then you could tell like she was in my photos, like, and we started posting a lot together, filming stuff. Like she was in the background of my vlogs. Like people knew. So it came to a point, I think, and I asked her out the night before, I think. At a Dodgers game, like her favorite thing in the world. She'd love to tell you the story of how I asked her out. She like brags about that all the time. And it wasn't actually like I said.
What do you mean asked her out? Like become like official?
Yeah, like just became official.
Right.
And it was funny too because like I wasn't even prepared for it. Like I didn't think I was gonna make it official that much. She had wanted, you know how girls are. Girls like are just waiting, and it was just like the right time, right place. And I was like, all right, this is the time. And then so I think that the next day. She's a girl, so she was just excited, right? She wanted to share it, And so we had kind of like planned to just announce it, and everyone it was like that moment where everyone's just like waiting, and then we announced it, and they were like, okay, we already knew this.
It's so bizarre, isn't it, that in 2019 it's like you've got your own relationship to worry about, but then you guys have also got like a fan base to answer to that kind of feel entitled to know what's going on. He's talking about hiding relationships. Like, what do you think about? I mean, there are a lot of people out there that you would not know they've had a boyfriend or a girlfriend for 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Do you think there are people out there that generally just want to keep things private, or do you think there are people out there that enjoy being in a relationship but want to remain desirable to their fan base or followers?
That's kind of like, I mean, I get it. Like, you look at people like Dolan twins and stuff, like, they're always single, and I have a feeling they probably, like, they're dating and stuff like that. But I get it. Like, when your whole fan base, when you're, like, a guy who's kind of built upon, like, you're, like, a model / like, your fans are based upon what you look like and them kind of fantasizing about being with you, right? It's kind of weird, but like that could kill a lot of your demographic, you know? And I get it. It's not really my thing, but I could see where it's sad, but you'd have to hide your relationship for your work, and that's your business. And I get that. But as far as like what I've never witnessed that. So I'm just, whatever, just it's open. Do your thing.
Have you ever heard the term micro cheating?
No.
Yeah.
But cheating is cheating. I'll tell you that before whatever you tell me. I'll tell you.
Well, yeah. All right. So the term micro cheating has sort of come into play in the social media area, and it's basically things like you can generally categorize it as things that it's not cheating, but you wouldn't want your partner knowing about it.
Okay.
So that's like like DMing. That's like just doing things that's like, ooh. Like,
that's good you said that, because just the phrase "wouldn't want your partner knowing about it," that's where the cheating aspect comes in. If you're hiding it, it's probably bad.
Well, that's it. So that's where the terms come from. It's basically because back in the good old days, cheating was generally just like intercourse or
we didn't have DMing.
Yeah, like physically hooking up with someone else. Now it's got like, I mean, there's all these different ways of flirting. I mean, you've got just a simple like double tap on a picture or an emoji or something like that. You know, there's all these ways to communicate things with people that seem relatively harmless but are not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess that where the term micro cheating comes from is that you're not physically hooking up with someone, but you're definitely not being straight with your partner, you know?
I'll say this. The only person who really knows if it's cheating or not is the person who's doing it, because they're the only ones who genuinely know their intent, you know? It just depends on what was your intention. If you did something that came off as cheating, but you had no intent of doing that, then there's nothing wrong with it, right? And like I'd say a lot of people, I say that if you're not willing to tell your girlfriend about it, it's usually along the lines of cheating. But if you are willing to tell your girlfriend about it and it's still something bad, then you're just kind of being a douche. Like, you shouldn't be doing it, and you're telling your girlfriend she can do whatever she wants with that. So,
all right, well, I think we covered it. That is micro cheating and social media do's and don'ts in 2019 with Jordan Beau.
There we go.
Any last advice for anyone, just in general, on that topic?
I think the one big piece of advice I give people about relationships is like, don't get caught up in wanting to be single or wanting to be in a relationship. Do whatever just feels right at the time, you know? Because, like, we're young. Like, I see a lot of people who are, like, 30 and they're still dating and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a chance when you're younger to have a high school sweetheart or something like that, build a relationship, or at least learn about relationships at a young age, so by the time you're, like, 20, 22, and we'll speed up the process, you know? Because everyone wants to get married and have kids at some point.
Yeah. And when you say 2022, when you know what you're looking for, I feel like most people are sort of saying 28, 30.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Start young. I wouldn't say start dating young, but start learning young about relationships.
I mean, I'm 30, so it's like I'm in the realm where people have had a lot of relationships, and they're definitely in that period where they know exactly what they want.
Exactly.
Girls' biological clocks are ticking. They're ready to settle down. Yeah. You know, guys sort of know where they're at. A lot of the time, that's exactly what they don't want. That's living in LA. Yeah. But it's a weird one, dude. Yeah. Sounds like you got it figured out, though.
Yeah, I'm young too, so that's like one thing is like I've learned that along the line.